Okay, so I got the itch again to do some chiptunesy kind of attempts, and I got some video that is from one of my favorite game experiences from the NES days back in the 90s, Rygar. It's one of these speed run throughs, and so I think it's about 45 minutes or so, and I'm going to use the video as a sort of timer, but we'll see. Maybe by the end of the video, when it loops back around, maybe I'll just say screw it and keep going. But the challenge for this sketch is going to be to try to see if I can come up with a bit of a chiptunesy type of piece inside of that time frame. And so maybe when the video repeats or runs out, then I'll just start to I'll totally switch gears and run a bunch of effects over the chiptunesy thing that we come up with. So I guess without further ado, let's get the clock ticking and see how far we get. Okay, got our sweet lo-fi video. It's all about the lo-fi. Let's get a arpeggiator going here, and I think we need a saw type effect. And let's get some volume up there. Not exactly the saw I was looking for. I think because we have this. Oh, yeah, that's hot to trot. All right. And way too much tail on that. So I'm gonna start out with like a sort of rolling bass line a little bit. Yeah, this Cool on. I don't think we need this yet, this velocity control. All right. Let's get that, let's get a line of this down. Cool. I need to set this back to 1 bar. We're going to do something a little bit more to the beat for now. All right, it's a humble beginning, but we'll just call this bass. And I also think we could get a little, maybe get some of that phasing going on. Hold on. By having a second saw. To get a realistic sound out of the operator, you know, it's kind of tough. You know, there are plenty of chiptunes type of plugins out there. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, these are the ones that I have, and there are so many more out there. But I like the challenge of trying to use something like operator. It can create a lot of those sounds. All right, for this one, I think I don't want to automate that yet. Let's get that noise. Let's get a looped noise, a bit more lo-fi. Cool. That'll work. And we can automate this. Might as well, you know, have some generative stuff going on in there. There's no reason why we shouldn't. And like any good song, really, a good chiptunes piece has a lot of moving parts. You know, we wouldn't just stick on this, you know, if we wanted to have this looping theme, it may just be if we put this in a video game and we didn't have very many changes, that would be a section that you didn't spend much time in. Because we're making music for video games, you have to think about, like, how long is the player going to be in this zone? And so that kind of can inform how complicated or that can inform how complicated a piece of song for a certain zone or level or area needs to be. All right, let's get some more tail on this one. Ay, 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 ay. And I have to say, if you set the gate to 100 and something like 1/8, you can easily play some parts, and you don't have to be right on the beat. And as long as you've got the rate set to something like 1/8 or 1/16, you can play parts and they sync up really easily. This is a great tool for performing live also. And with 100%, you can kind of hold a note and you don't get all the repeats, as though if so 1/16 is a little bit more, you can get some faster. And this is just me dorking out on the white keys. All right, let's get that. And it helps to have a bit of a glide. That's kind of also a telltale. I was thinking we would get maybe kind of an echoey type effect, but I don't think that's working out the way. I'm probably just not setting it up right. There, and there's that kind of SID type phasing. It's a lot more prominent when you have the re-trigger on, so each note you hit. I guess we are getting repeat notes here, it's just a bit more. Just not as noticeable because we have our envelope set a certain way. And let's give ourselves one note and a bit of a glide. I like the 1/16. All right. Let's just start dorking out with a sort of a lead. A lot of chiptunes, they have like at least pieces that are made in the spirit of the old NES and arcade games. They only had so many voices, so if you want to recreate that kind of effect, you don't want to overload the amount of tracks you use. Obviously, it doesn't matter this day and age. You can kind of make a hybrid or do whatever you want, but if you want to keep it sort of puristic, then you have to keep into account how many voices and what those voices were doing. Like for a NES chip, they had like there was only a few oscillators and a little simple sampler, maybe like a noise section for the percussion. I can't remember off the top of my head. So. probably a little over the top, but okay, we'll start this one a little bit sooner. Getting the note timing correct is, you know, you can spend days just fudging notes around a little bit. We'll move everything from here out a little bit. And a lot of chiptunes just employs really simple pitch shifting key changes, and I do like a bit of a kind of like that sort of mousy not leave too much glide on there. So we will automate this so that every, let's just say, every 4 measures it switches up, and we could even do in a real-world scenario. I would certainly tame this I would tame these the soloing, this lead section a bit. Figure out better spacings for things. Just a personal preference, of course. What I'm doing over here, just randomly hitting stuff. So maybe if we add some more length here. Perhaps good to end sort of on like a high note, maybe. And I would add more glide in around some of those sections at the end there. Doesn't take a heck of a long amount of time, as you can see. But this is just one part. We would want to, you know, start over essentially and create a different part. And for different parts, you may want different, you know, speeds, pacings. So, you know, for this bass, maybe we wanted like a 1/8 steady ostinato type arpeggiation. And then for the second part, we maybe would want, let's see. Let's give this one a cool. And then we'll give this next one here a let's make that 8 in length, just spitball in there, and we will change this to be 1/16. And we'd have to think of a good transition too. Cool. Let's just get some of that down. Let's see what we got there. And it may be too disparate from that first section. However, of course, with a transition, we can probably, you know, we can do anything with it with the right transition. I almost don't even hear this hi-hat, it just kind of blends in. And I'm thinking for this one we can just have it start out at a higher octave and then go down to a more bassy one. Let's unlink this, go 8, and then have this down an octave here. And we can make it so that our loop, there we go. So when it starts out at the higher octave. This is, yeah, it's a boss level, you know, everything's just like faster and more spastic. So honestly, it doesn't really sound like a chiptune song without that. Some of that good old. Oh wow! I'm glad I recorded all that. Okay, so let's try this. Take it from the top, and actually, I do want to make this. This particular beat would be a little bit faster. As far as I know, there wasn't any real limit, huge limit in these old NES games with the audio chip as far as how fast you could make things. Yeah, we probably want a little bit of some kind of echo, and I think they would do echo effects using volume and repeating notes in interesting ways, but the easier way around it is to certainly just bust out a basic delay. I turn off all the bells and whistles, make sure the timing is synced up. Let's make sure those are linked, and there we go. Let's try this. And I'm thinking we could use, yeah, I think this, so we have this intro section that lasts for, and we could time these probably a little bit better. Let's pull these all in so that they are synced more to the measure. Cool, and I think it would be neat to have this. Let's move everything from here. I think we can just do that number. Oh, we're stretching that note out. I see what's going on there. Let's stretch a blank area, and I want to get this. There we go. So we've got this extra measure. We need like a sort of kick type of sound in there. We could craft that straight up from this, I think, by switching between noise and a sine. First, I want to get this automated down just like we did here. Let's see. Yep, 4 measures, and then we're going to automate the speed of it back up to 16 notes. So let's unlink that. Let's make it 8, and at 5 we'll go back up to 16 and draw our loop out there. Honestly, when I'm making these types of songs, I'm usually doing it over here, and a lot of composition over here. It's a bit easier for working out transitions and A, B, C, verse, chorus, bridge type sections. You can do it in here also, and I'm not used to that method. So I feel like it's a funner challenge for me right now, working in this clip view on this kind of thing. Oops, heard a foul note. Maybe we could, just to fill up this space, I was thinking, well, we could get some of our tweaky, bleepy type of, let's see what this is. Yeah, we need the arpeggiator synced up to a higher rate. Looks like we've got a good rate going there. Cool. Definitely needs some timing adjustments. And let's speed it up a little bit. The timing of these looks like we've got some sort of triplet timing going on there. Let's get rid of those and just work from these. And let's shorten those. And what happens when we shift that up 2 octaves? Almost sounds like a sound effect at that point. Let's get our audition on. Whoops. That's the chord I was looking for. All right, let's give this one a shot. This may not make sense once we hear it all together, but yeah, something is definitely missing. So let's just let's mute these for now. And maybe this is a good spot for the drums to, you know, for us to get that kick sound in there. Yeah, I'm not even sure what. Yeah, for this we would not have this lead come in so soon. Maybe you give it like a 2 measure, or yeah, 2 measure runway. So there we go. I think we lost something over here. And okay. So let's see what happens when we just get ourselves a kick every. I guess that's the beginning of the measure. So let's have some more there. And for this, I'm thinking we want to isolate this sound and just kind of work straight from this sound. Yeah, it'll just be easier that way. So let's find our arpeggiator and get our timing back up to 1/16. You can sort of hear like a little tom type sound coming through there. Okay, so working straight from automation is not for the faint of heart. Cool, and we would pull the pitch down. But since we were using shifted noise, we could, it does sound really lo-fi though. Yeah, so instead of this noise, how about we stick with a white noise. And I think a redux could sound nice on that. And I don't think we need that high pass filter or low pass. I think the high pass should work. At least it'll bring out the kick a little bit. And let's up the sustain a little bit. So that's an interesting pattern. Okay, cool. So we'll use that. And after 4 measures of this, I'm going to have a follow action kick it over to our beat here. Yeah, it makes so much more sense with that beat coming in to give it a measure or 2 measures or whatever for the beat to just sort of play before our overpowering solo I'm curious what this solo will sound like. I'm not 100%. This solo definitely sounds better with this slower bass line in place. And this beat here, honestly, doesn't sound terrible with this combination of bass. Yeah, I think we needed to get our give our rate and adjustment for this clip here. 16 was what we had it on. So, and we're gonna do unlinked and 4 measures to the next one. Let's see if we get the right. And honestly, I think that before all this nutty stuff, this should wait quite a while to come in. So I think, I like these little flourishes that only last just a bit. So we'll pull this over here, and maybe we can even move that out. Yeah, no, it's a bit tough working in clip mode. Also, if you want to have these transitions, we would probably want to split those out into their own clips. And probably want like a little drum fill before we hit this sort of flourishy thing. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's make this beat do something. Yeah, we probably want this to bump up around the end of the 4th measure. So we're going to just duplicate this, give ourselves plenty of runway there. And that might be too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And we could also increase the rate of the well, so let's just see what happens here. We lost our timing on this, didn't we? Yeah, we may need to just kind of re-record some of this stuff. I'm not sure if I'm really... I like this sort of sound effect for just, fun measure. Typically when the composers were making music for these old games, they wouldn't put any sort of... Typically they wouldn't put any sound effect-y kind of things in there because that could compete with the actual sound effects of the game. So it just depended on where the music was. If the music was like in a cut scene, like a cinematic, or just a section where you weren't actually playing the game, you could totally throw sound effects into the music at that point, and it was no big deal because the user wouldn't confuse those sound effecty sounds with stuff that was in the music. And we need more runway there. I think as we move things around, sadly we lost our timing for our glide. Yeah, so that was actually made to go here. And then this glide was made to go over here. Yeah, this solo lead is a hot mess. Hot mess. So I would spend, you know, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour cleaning this thing up, getting that it's just right. We won't do that in this session because that's just a lot of... All right, too much of that. Cool, and we will, maybe I'll kill this for now. We can come back to it. We've got those notes there, and I think we'll put a follow action on this to jump to a different clip. So we'll just have these playing. Sounds good when you're playing it. Of course, then on playback, it's always like, oh, that was really quite terrible. Let's just try that on for size for a little bit. And there's really no end to the amount of note tweaking and changes and different variations. Like good classical songs have like a lot of different moving parts. So obviously, the more you can put into a good song or a song, the better it will be, the more good it will be, I think. Of course, you listen to a lot of old Nintendo stuff. Some of it is just very simple. A lot of those composers just didn't have time to really tweak things or make music to a really complicated degree. A lot of them didn't have the tools to produce, like, because the songs were made in this text-based format. You had to script out what notes and the timing. It was all a real big hot steaming mess of difficulty. All right, so we've got 8 measures. I'm going to put a follow action so that after 8 measures it jumps to the next one. This may sound dumb, but let's give it a shot. And I'm about ready to move on. I think we might actually even be getting to somewhat to the end of our, if I remember from the game, this is kind of closest to the end boss fight. All right, so anyway. And we're definitely hearing some off-time stuff, because when you set it down to 164, you're going to hear all of your notes that aren't hitting quantized well. So that's why I like 1/16. I think it just sounds pretty good. We need to just Control A and then Control U all that. Yeah, we could repeat this twice, but I think this higher thing should be on the second phrase, refrain, or whatever we need to call it. Let's see. So this is 10. It looks like. Well, let's give that a shot. And I'll just move these down to repeat this motif here. And let me have this clip here just go ahead and play the lower octave so we can... I like that. Cool. Now we need to get a second. And we could easily just kind of draw this in and repeat the timing of that stuff, which is pretty much this right here. And let's see, we'll move these right there. Let's see what's going wrong here. We need to move these onto the measure. Oops, don't want all of them to be shortened at once. Could probably start this one a little bit earlier so we get this. Cool. I think I'm going to duplicate this and let's start it right here for this second section. And at this point, I think I need to pitch up the bass line by 3, get that classic. I didn't do it. Okay. And I see we don't have a proper, it's not the right chord. Shoot, where did I end up pitching this thing up? Oh, I guess I pitched this one up. And that was not the one I wanted to deal with. Tricky. All right. I see. All right, well, cool. So there's like no end to the amount of variations we could variate until the cows come home. So I think for now we'll just move on to this, and I think yeah, I think we totally messed our timing up, I'm pretty sure, on this part here. Let me pull this down here and maybe try a different approach. Okay, firstly, we need to adjust this up from 164. Let's actually give it much... Yeah, creating a really meaningful lead line or solo line is not a simple task. It takes a lot of tweaking, unless you are just super music theory inclined. You know, I have to spend a lot of time. So, kind of a whole different feel with this lead line there. Cool. And then let's try... So a lot of funny ideas in there. You know, nothing, it's obviously not anywhere near what anyone would consider a complete song, but you know, when starting any piece of music, you kind of just have to have a bunch of random ideas. And that's what I do. I like to put together a whole bunch of different sort of ideas. I spend usually 2 to 3 hours on that kind of part of the process of, you know, collecting various melodies, lead lines, notes, bass lines, and trying to get little sections like this that kind of fit together. And then I'll usually, you know, spend a day away from it and then come back and start tracking it out in here and start trying to piece it all together like a puzzle. And sometimes over in here, I'll have different sections that are just sort of copies of the same thing with little variations. And I'll use this audition with the bar set and just kind of jump from one section to the next to kind of hear how will this section sound good into this section. And then, you know, sometimes it doesn't exactly, but then it gives me an idea for a transition between two sections. It's a really kind of a hit or miss sometimes, a lot of trial and error, a lot of playing around with different ideas. So I say at this point, we start to just run this stuff through a bunch of effects and see what kind of crazy stuff we can get out of it at this point. So there's this live set that I had messed with some time ago, and it got lost, of course, on the hard drive. And then, yeah, I figured I would just pull it over into this and, you know, not let something good go to waste. It does make some really interesting textures, so I'm curious what this, you know, plain Jane chiptune sound would sound like. So this is the layer I think we need to get sound coming into. So let me summon a gate. Sounds very video gamey. Summon a gate. Yes, definitely a thing we gotta do in life. So let's do, I guess, post effects. Oh, completely transformed it. Not really hearing too much of the original in there. But it almost sounds like little gems or diamonds. That kind of funny textural type of sound effects you might want to use in a video game sometime. All right, cool. Let's get our operator. I thought I copied you and paste it over here. Machine gun sound. Quite the snare rush. Cool. Looks like we're almost to the end of the video. He's almost beat the end. I do enjoy a good walkthrough or speed run through, I should say, in this case. Cool. Not sure where we're going with that, but We'll see. Oh, looks like final boss. Wow, I think he beat that boss in like 2 seconds. That's pretty awesome. Must have gotten all the power-ups along the way. Let's get that over here. We're going to restart this. Oh, looks like a fun ending. We've got ourselves a rainbow, and it looks like the most positive and peaceful ending on the planet. Like that's Valhalla. It's gotta be. Let's get some spazoid sounds going on in here. Nice. I'll take it. Cool. So I'm just messing around here, trying to just take this thing off into Valhalla, La La Land. Whoop! Always a good time. Future chip. That's the sound we're going for here. It's a very like 80s computer generated. love an operator how you can automate through the various tones. Alright, let's pull some of these automations we just did off of the gird. Pull you off the grid too. This. Which one? Rear drums. There we go. Cool. Let's get this thing in here and random other 16. There we go. Modulate you. That is one of the weirder solos on the planet. Not really, actually. I'm sure it's pretty tame compared to... There we go. It's got lots of probability going in there. Alright, weirdo solo. Needs a lot less. Maybe, there we go. L. Oh, that's just darn useful. Does that mess up the... Nope. Okay, cool. I'll start using that one from now on. Love discovering new tricks. Let's try some effects out on this drum section. Maybe too ominous. I don't know. fun. Okay, so hilarious where we started and where we ended up was just kind of two totally different. Sometimes it's fun to do that. Just start a sketch and completely bosh it up, and try to take it into a whole other weird direction. Cool. There's the time smear effect. If Ableton would stop being a little biatch. This time stretch, yes, yes. Let's see what this does to our CPU. It's pretty hefty. Not too bad. Well, it's off. Let's turn it on and see what we get. What kind of hit we get. 32 to 50. Yeah, this thing is it's a beast. So I don't think we need this hybrid reverb. If we use this time stretch. Quite a fascinating mess we got here. I do believe that little solo kind of holds things together in a weird way. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we officially did something weird today, and I'm proud of that. And not as weird as we've done, of course, but I'm certainly always happy when something unexpected kind of pops out at the end that sounds fun and unusual and slightly from another planet. Would be some fun video game that would have music like that. You could see the crazy side scroller, you know, space aged, medieval, you know, space age magic, whatever. Awesome. All right, well, I guess until next time, you know, keep it weird, keep it fun, keep it funky.